I had a therapy session recently. I think in my last set, I talked about how my therapist was on strike, and good for them. And they won. Hooray! And I hope they get all the amazing benefits that they get. Because therapists are underpaid, understaffed, overworked, right? And underappreciated, honestly. So, yeah. That's great. So the day that my therapist came back from strike, I got an appointment with them. And the fact it was so quick, that once news came out, like an hour, I booked an appointment for like 2-3 hours right after the decision came out. Everybody went back to work. So they weren't even expecting me to be there, right? Just like, hey, I have an appointment. Don't forget about me. And luckily, yeah. Anyways, one of the things we talked about was how noises piss me off. And I'm gonna like, how should I tell this story? Okay, I'll just continue with the therapy session first. So, noises piss me off, particularly whenever I'm on like hot mic. That's a fancy way of saying I'm talking in my living room. Whether I'm singing or whether I'm doing stand-up here right now, right? Like you've seen me so many times. I go, motherfucking fuck shit cunt ass motherfucker, right? Fucking bullshit, right? Like every fucking... So I do that. I do that. Noises piss me off. And I talked to him. I talked to my therapist about it. And the therapist was so understanding. And in my opinion, like overly gentle even with treating me, right? With how they treated me and addressed me when I told them all this, crazy shit that I would do and say, right? These insane reactions I would have, banging on tables and shit, like beating things up. And so they were like, oh, like, is there a way that you can do this, right? Is there a way you could do that? Like, oh, yeah, I understand it's very annoying, right? Like, irritating, your feelings are valid. My therapist was very validating, very nice, right? And in my head, I kept fighting it. I was like, no, that's not right. That's not the way I want to deal with it, right? I want to be okay with the noise, And... my therapist, just suggested a bunch of ideas like, oh, like moving or, or just like communication or like, expressing, oh, can you not do this? Can you not do that? And I kept rejecting all those ideas. And eventually, I was like, yeah, I mean, like I don't know how it came up, but I just, mentioned like middle of our conversation that I'm in my living room, and then immediately the therapist was like, what, konata what, you're in your living room? And I'm like, yeah, I'm in my living room. My therapist was like, konata. And just that look sends, that look, I was on video call, that look told me everything that I needed to know. The therapist could explain, and the emotions and the logic and the skills, right? I got everything I needed from that look. Just that look of like, are you fucking kidding me? That's literally what the therapist did, and he goes on to later explain like, that's a public space. You're bitching about there being noise and people being in a public space, and he's like, and here's the gotcha. He was like, well, can you move into your own room? Like, do you have any privacy, right? A safe space? I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to. I have a room. You've seen it. I dance in there. I don't want to. I prefer the living room. I prefer making noise where everybody else is making noise. So basically, yeah, I don't think, aside from my parents, I don't think I've disappointed anybody that much. I don't think I've wasted, again, right? Like therapist time is very valuable, right? Like they're saving lives, they're helping people, they're helping not only one person, but they're helping the people who interact with the one person that they're helping, right? Like, I just wasted friggin' like at least like 15-20 minutes of my hour, let's just say 30, right? Talking about how there's noise in the public space that is my living room. So I'm working on it. I'm working on it. He gave me a few skills to use, right, to work on, and stuff like that. So, hey, we'll see. But I've been looking for ways to justify my behavior. So I came across this YouTube video, therapy video, and the term is, hang on, let me pull it up. What's it? How do I spell it? Misophonia. Yes. Misophonia, and it's not a fear of miso soup as I originally thought. It's when sounds make you angry, basically, you know. And I don't get pissed just from like sounds in my living room. I get pissed when, there's a leaf blower outside. I get pissed by shitty music videos, right? Shitty singing, shitty K-pop videos, right? Like I get so pissed about shitty music. Like it's insane. I'll start like smashing things and banging things, right? And go, fuck you fucking useless, right? Piece of shit. Are you fucking terrible, right? You fucking idiot, right? Making this musicality choice over this music choice, or maybe no choice. Dude, Justin Bieber triggers my misophonia more than anything in the entire world. So that's an example, right? Fucking Justin Bieber singing, and leaf blower and noise in my living room. Right, and nails on a chalkboard. That's how bad Justin Bieber is. So, anyways, there's no conclusion to that. Basically, all I found out was the research has just begun, which is great. I mean, the research just begun. They don't know anything about it. They don't know the root cause. They can suggest some treatments, and it's the same skills, right, that my therapist gave me. So that's cool. One of the big things was like, don't avoid it. Like there's another term for like sounds that make you anxious and sounds that make you angry. I'm in the angry camp, right? I go fight mode against everything, right? Like I'll murder you before you murder me. The sound. I'm talking to the sound. So but we do that because our brain is trying to like get away from the thing. But it's counterproductive in a spiral. Because if I like fight off the sound, then my brain goes, yeah, you should fight off the sound every time, right? Because in the end, I was safe, and I fought off the sound. Therefore, brain dumb goes, oh, I should fight off the sound every time so that I can be safe. When that's not the actual correlation. The actual correlation is just, I was safe all along, so I should just not fight off the sound, And that's part of the training is like, just do it enough where I rewire my brain to think, oh, these sounds are safe. I'm not going to get murdered. Because I used to be, in a very not safe place, with the threat of getting murdered a lot. So it makes sense. But yeah, no, I'm very grateful to be alive during this time. There's three things I'm grateful for, being alive in like the 2022, right? One is anime. The first one is anime, right? Living in the same time frame as anime. Two is femboy VTubers, and three is therapy. So therapy science is super new, right? It's super helpful. Yeah.